I'm here in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I'm going to be driving the all-new Lexus LX 600 today. But before that, and it was hard for me to sleep always when I'm traveling, but it's okay because when I woke up this morning, Tokyo Auto Salon is alive and raging on the other side of the world, and I cannot believe some of the things coming out of it, especially the Subaru and Yamaha team up. Feels like Christmas morning. I can't believe what I'm reading. And you know, Subaru is such a conservative brand. Look at the new WRX. Very conservative, definitely better in every way, but it's still pretty darn conservative. But then here they are with this STI ERA concept and the Solterra STI concept. They also have some custom WRX concepts as well, but the one that's really stealing us, guys, is this STI ERA concept. And I always look at Yamaha, and it blew my mind to find out Yamaha is supplying the Hyper EV electric motors that I made a video about, I don't know, half a year ago. Their motors are capable of over 1,000 horsepower easy when you combine them all together. And that's essentially what's going on here. So here's a picture of the motor type that will be in the Subaru STI ERA, and there will be 4 of them, 1 for each wheel, of course. And still, I don't feel like that there's that much information on it, but if we go to Automotive News, I shot a couple emails to this gentleman, Hans Greimel, this week. He always has fantastic write-ups, and he wrote about what it was like getting back into Japan after traveling. He lives there full-time. But anyways, he has more information for us, and they want to have this vehicle go under 6 minutes and 40 seconds at the Nürburgring. STI, the company's motorsports division, will test the car at circuits in Japan this year and try to set a new lap record on Germany's famed Nürburgring from 2023. STI ERA will pack a maximum output of 800 kilowatts or around 1,073 horsepower. A sport proprietary 4-motor 4-wheel torque vectoring system and the high torque, high revolution motor integrated with an inverter and gear was developed and supplied by Yamaha Motor Co. A 60 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery powers the system. So you got to keep in mind they only need a battery big enough to supply 1 lap. So any additional size is not going to help it because it's just going to be a heavier vehicle. So 60 must be the magic number to supply enough power as well as keep the weight down as much as possible. I'll see you guys down below on the Subaru Yamaha team up. Man, I was wishing when Yamaha announced those motors, I'm like, man, it'd be nice if somebody on the Japanese end actually took Yamaha up on these crate motors essentially and put them in a supercar or a hypercar. And Subaru, of all the companies, is going to be the one to do it first. I thought it'd be Toyota since Toyota has a big stake, but you got to realize Subaru and Toyota are almost the same company nowadays, as Subaru is owned largely by Toyota. So it does feel a little bit like Toyota's still pulling the strings here. And speaking of Toyota, holy crap, we got a lot of stuff to go through. I'm looking at all of this at the first time because it's like it's 5 a.m. now, but I got up at 4 a.m. Just tickled to death with all this stuff. So it looks like we have an NX plug-in hybrid off-road concept. This looks like the same bronze color. Yes, iron oxide that was on the LF1 Limitless, and this is their hydrogen little off-road vehicle. A better look here at the NX with big tires on it. I mean, it looks okay. The NX is not an off-roading vehicle, but they also have a real off-roading vehicle, which I will be driving today. Let me find it real quick. Yes, Lexus brings a custom-tuned LX off-road model to the Tokyo Auto Salon in 2022. They're teaming up with Joust. Forgive me for not pronouncing it correctly, but they're longtime tuners of Land Cruisers and the LX. And look at this badass machine. Oh my gosh, it looks great. So they've done a bunch of customizations to it. Here's a quick highlight reel. I'm not going to go over it too much, but man, look at this bad machine. So it's kind of surprising Lexus had a few things, mostly off-roading things. Interesting. Is Lexus going to actually give us some more off-roading things from the factory? I know the Tokyo Auto Salon is largely about customization, but still, they're not even giving us those things as dealer options here in America. Fingers crossed we'll get some of those in the future. All right, other Toyota news. We talked about this GR GT3 concept. It looks insane. I don't know what else to say about it. Obviously, it's a GT3 car. It is designed and purposed for racing. But remember, all GT3 cars are based off factory cars. And this thing looks so sick. No, Toyota hasn't posted any performance numbers on it. And it's supposed to be 3 years out. I mean, it's not going to be electric. You can see, you know, an exhaust tip right here. You gotta love the tips. But it still doesn't rule out maybe an inline six that's borrowed from Mazda and they just tune the hell out of it. We have confirmation of the GRMN Yaris. This thing has not only the carbon fiber roof that we had on the GR Yaris, now we have a carbon fiber hood, carbon fiber little spoiler back there. It's essentially a one-off for Japan. It's really expensive. I know it's going to be at least like $60,000. It's mainly for racing series in Japan, and they have all these sensors on the cars. The owner of the car will drive around the racetrack, and Toyota will tune it for them based on their needs, from my understanding of it. Only making 500 of these, which is unfortunate, but another thing with this is that it loses 20 kilograms, or about 44 pounds or so. It's about a centimeter wider, it's about a centimeter lower. It uses mechanical LSDs, a close radial gear transmission, and a low final gear set. And the reservation is going to be a lottery. And there's a special circuit package which is available in the special matte steel exterior color and be sold as a 50 unit limited edition. So there are 500 units, 50 of them are limited edition, and it's built in Motomachi. And the Takumi's hands are all over it. To me, this is essentially Toyota's LFA. It's going to have a similar build quality. They're upping the welds and rigidity of this vehicle compared to the standard GR Yaris. They're giving it a lot of Lexus treatment, a lot of Lexus care, and quality control for the build and fit and finish. So pretty ridiculous, and it's not going to be coming to America, but man, I mean, special seats for it. It's looking pretty nasty. I will probably only get a chance to drive something like this in a video game, and that's okay with me. This is an instant classic for sure. You can see they took out the rear seats. It's one of the ways to reduce weight, as well as, you know, the carbon fiber hood and wing. An additional stability bar in the back. Like, this thing is a legit street legal race car, and that's what GRMN is. It's the fullest tuning of their GR products and really designed and bent for the track. Unfortunately, I don't know if we'll ever see a GRMN here in America. The best chance is probably through a Supra GRMN with like 500 horsepower. Those are the rumors that have been going along for a while now. I think people will be getting their hands on this vehicle around summertime. Course, not here in America. We don't even get the standard GR Yaris. Now they have a BZ4X GR Sport concept, which is funny because if we go back to Subaru, they have the STI concept. So again, like the Toyobaru setups with the BRZ and the GR86, Toyota and Subaru are going back at it with their electric cars here. And it's definitely lowered. It's a little bit more blacked out. Bigger wheels, some red brake calipers, but it's not going to have any more performance than the standard 200 to 214 or so horsepower of the BZ4X. And that's what GR Sport is. It's more of just an aesthetic appeal. Honda has shown off some driving footage of the Civic Type R. It's still under camouflage. I thought maybe at the Tokyo Auto Salon that they were going to show the whole vehicle, but it does. I think I mentioned in that video talking about how it's going to be unveiled at the Tokyo Auto Salon. I'm like, wouldn't it be funny if they kind of troll us and show it still in camouflage form, which they did. So we're still waiting on to see exactly what it looks like. I mean, cat's kind of out of the bag. We pretty much know so much about this vehicle. I'm expecting it to be the 2-liter turbo with around 300 horse that we see in the current Civic Type R. Front wheel drive, 6-speed manual. It's going to be great. Anyways, not much to say about it other than we have video of it now instead of stills. Now, I believe Nissan has unveiled pricing for their Fairlady Z, which is the same thing as our Nissan Z here. It's starting at $61K. You got to realize that is not what it's going to be here in America. It's going to be around $40K where it's starting. That's what I've been told by my Nissan reps. And unfortunately, dealers could jack that price up to around $60K if they wanted to. So it really depends on what people are willing to pay for the new Z, the twin-turbo 400 horsepower, 6-speed manual, return of greatness for the Z, essentially. So it's really, really exciting. And Mitsubishi shows off rally art concepts, and it's just kind of like a stickered out Outlander. So it's too bad. It changes are just aesthetic, and yeah, rally art. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know why you're around if you're not improving performance. putting mud flaps on things is, I guess, the way to go nowadays. But this thing looks pretty cool. This Delica D5 camper variant. And they also had a little plug-in vehicle that's not featured here on CNET. The little K-car minivan EV with like 100 miles of range. But the highlights of the show has to be the STI ERA, that's a mouthful concept, teaming up with freaking Yamaha for hyper class electric car performance. I'm super stoked. Guys, it's going to be ringing the ring next year, 2023, and it's going to be driving around Japan tracks in the meantime. So pretty badass. Can't wait to see what it's capable of. And who knows, maybe they'll make it into a production car. Subaru with a 1,000 horsepower hypercar. Could you imagine what it would cost? You have like a $30,000 Crosstrek in the showroom next to an STI ERA, which would be, I don't know, $1 million. I have no idea. I don't even want to take a stab. But with only 60 kilowatts. But anyways, who's going to be taking this vehicle on a long trip? Anyways, it's so far out in terms of production, and it's very unlikely. What's more likely for production is this Batman inspired GT3 race car from Toyota. This thing is just sex on wheels. I'll say it. It's probably not going to have the same performance of the STI ERA because that's 1,000 horse. This thing is going to be 500 to 600 horse based off the GT3 racing standards. But man, what a wonderful morning to wake up to. And once the sun comes up, it's still 5:30. And once the sun comes up, I'll be driving the LX600, guys. Can't wait. Dream come true. Wonderful day. Thank you guys for supporting my dream. If you enjoyed today's coverage of the Tokyo Auto Salon, make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe for more Japanese auto news. A little bit of Korean splashed in there as well. Catch you in the next video. Peace out.